overrated beyond any measurement possible in any galaxy. One of the most obnoxious, vile creatures we've ever seen on a television. And one thing we cannot stand is noisy eaters. And noisy eaters with a beard is just about the worst thing on the planet. And the idea of wanting to watch him with his fanny mouth, chomping away on a revolting food and blathering about how it's delicious is one of my pet hates. Fuck you, Action Bronson. Day drinking. That immediately tends to be neither overrated or underrated. My first memory of that is talking to William Burroughs in Kansas, in Lawrence, Kansas, and we were talking about how we'd just spent a few days with Brian Geisen in Paris, and how Brian was pretty drunk by 11 in the morning. And William went, "What do you mean 11 in the morning?" And we said, what's wrong? And he was really upset. He said, "Brian always told me you should never have a drink until after 1 in the afternoon." He said, "I never have since he said that to me. And he's drinking in the morning?" He was outraged. And he dived into the other room to phone up Brian and harangue him about the fact that he lied for years about this, day drinking. Pass. Wow, Los Angeles. We would normally say Los Angeles is overrated because it's always had a dark underbelly to me. We've had some very negative experiences there. I mean, we nearly died in the fire in Laurel Canyon in LA. We were working with Love and Rockets in Harry Houdini's old mansion. And during the night, the house, about 6 in the morning, the house caught fire. And myself and David J. were trapped at the top of the house. And he got out somehow, out of the window, okay. And then we suddenly thought, oh, all the master tapes that we've been working on for the new album are in this room. So we wrapped them up in blankets and chucked them out of the window to save them. And then we realized his homemade guitar that he made at school was in the room, Big Woody, so we wrapped that up and threw it to him. And then we saw that the door of the room was melting. And so we climbed out. But the window ledge was sloping and it had all this dust on it. And it was like one of those cartoons with a cat where it was, so we were like, ah. So we grabbed this tree that we saw, but it was dead, it just snapped. We went, oh shit. And landed on concrete steps and broke that wrist. It shattered this elbow joint into 36 pieces, it exploded it. And we still have dead nerve damage here, and it broke these ribs. And then the next day we had a pulmonary embolism as a side effect of the surgery and clinically died. So that's just one example. A lot of weird things have happened to me in LA. It's as if the whole city is literally a set. And when it's not being filled with scripts, it sucks in energy from anywhere, regardless of whether it's dark or positive. So we're wary of LA. Wow, John Waters. We'd have to say underrated just because he could never be overrated. We met him once in person at a very chic party for rich collectors in the art world. And myself and Lady J went both dressed the same. And we're standing there feeling a little out of place. And then in came John Waters. And he saw me and Jay, and he just came straight over. And we smiled, and he saw my gold teeth. And he said, can I lick your teeth, Genesis? And we said, yes, of course. And so he just stuck his tongue in my mouth and licked my teeth. That's how we met John Waters. That's style. Does that fit underrated and overrated? We can tell you it's an abomination. How dare they? We're still baffled that in the United States, people just assume that male babies will be circumcised. Why? To what end? You know, all the Victorian fakery that said it was clean and healthy is just proven BS. Because all of Europe is fine keeping them. So there's only one advantage to circumcision, and this is only a guess, and that is because the foreskin is missing, the end of the penis becomes desensitized through being rubbed on clothes, and therefore you're less likely to have premature ejaculation. But when you do ejaculate, it's not as intense. So the balance is, do you want to last longer or feel more? Could never be rated enough. Ketamine cat, my favorite psychedelic of all time. Myself and Lady J must have done easily 2,000 or 3,000 trips on ketamine together. Liquid ketamine. Learn your chemistry. When you get a liquid and you heat it and it turns into a crystal, it's changed its atomic structure. It is no longer the same thing. You know, we believe all psychedelics have a spirit, and ketamine seems to have an androgynous spirit. John Lilly, after using it for a long time, started to try and have breasts. The person who introduced us to it, Timothy Wiley, also developed a female persona, and myself and Lady J really developed androgyny, amplified through ketamine journeys. So there is some interestingly hermaphroditic spirit connected to ketamine. And here's the result.